Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. My name is Paul, the Canadian Snowman, here with some more geography. Now, we got Finland, Europe. I was a little confused, though, when I first sat down because we just did Fiji, but then, like, on the next on the list is a Republic of North Macedonia. Like, what? Like, how is that even in the Fs? You know? So I clicked on that, like, hold on, so this is like the wrong video because the previous one said Finland was next. But anyways, I'm not doing the Republic of North Macedonia right now. I don't know why it's there. Probably just a little mistake. I'm not sure why. I'm sure I'll get to it eventually, though. But yeah, that kind of threw me off. But anyways, we're on to Finland. Finland, a Nordic country, right? And what do you know about Finland? I know that you guys do awesome in the Winter Olympics. I know you guys are really good at hockey, obviously. And other than that, I don't know what. I'm sorry. But this is why I'm doing the videos. This is why I do these videos. Because, this is how I learn. Even though my knowledge doesn't stay in there very long, in a week I'll probably forget mostly everything. But for now, I'm learning. I'm sorry. I just got back from work, and so I'm trying to, like, wind down, but also, like, keep my energy so I'm not, like, passing out. So yeah, what else do I need to do? I just need to watch the video, right? Before I do, please hit the like and subscribe, and we're gonna get to it. I always stand forgetting to say something. By the way, guys, I'm doing every country alphabetical order. A lot of you guys want me to, like, jump ship and jump like 100 videos. All right, here we go. Finland. Woo! 3, 2, 1, bam.
Ah, Finland. Let's talk about this place that I totally have no preconceived biases towards.
Oh, okay.
It's time to learn geography.
No! Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbie. Welcome to the dark sheep of Northern Europe. All the other Nordic countries are like la 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 la, while Finland is like we'll get into the heavy metal thing in a bit.
What?
But first, now just remember, Finland is Nordic, but don't call it Scandinavian. There's a huge difference. That title only belongs to Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. First of all, Finland is located in Northern Europe, lying on the Gulf of Finland and the Gulf of Bothnia, east of all that Scandinavian stuff. To the west, they border Sweden on the Torne River, or the Tornionjoki, until it reaches the tri-point border with Norway at the three-country Cairn.
I just want to say I'm sorry. I have no idea the difference, like why something is Scandinavian, why something is Nordic. Like, I don't know. Maybe in a previous video they might have tried to explain that to me, but I forget. But I did call you guys Nordic, so I'm good. Anyways, let's get to
River, or the Tornionjoki, until it reaches the tri-point border with Norway at the three-country Cairnstone. And to the east, they border big ol' Russia with another tri-point border with Norway that looks like this. The country is divided into 19 regions, or maakunta, with the autonomous region that we'll talk about a little bit later, and the capital of Helsinki, located in the south on the Gulf of Finland, which is also the second most northern capital in the world after Reykjavik, Iceland. The country also owns about 180,000 islands, the highest concentration of which found in the Baltic off the coast in the Åland archipelago. Keep in mind, parts of Finland also lie within the Arctic Circle. That's how far up north they are. And the three busiest airports are Helsinki, Oulu, and Rovaniemi. Now, my favorite part, territorial anomalies! First of all, with Russia, there are too many split islands and penne enclaves. The islands of Aikaniemi and Sursaari, Tarasin-Saari Islands and lakes, the island in the Koitajoki River. Seriously, just play around with Google Earth and see how many you can find. Finally, we get to Sweden and things get interesting. Most of the borders with Sweden run along rivers that eventually flow into the Torne River, and then we get a strange golf course that is split between the two countries in the town of Tornio and Sweden. Not only that, but then you have the strange Market Island right next to
So you're playing golf, and you're going back and forth between, Sweden and Finland. How does that work out? Because I'm sorry, I don't know how, like, the whole, like, I guess passport, but, I guess, like the EU or whatnot. So you don't need to kind of, like, I guess, show yourself before you enter that country, or I don't know how that works. Like, show your passport. Or maybe it's just as long as you're just staying on the golf course, you're good. Just don't get off the golf course on that side, the opposite side. I don't know. That stuff's cool though. You jumping back and forth between Sweden and Finland.
Of Tornio and Sweden. Not only that, but then you have the strange Market Island right next to Åland in the Gulf of Bothnia, which has an inverted S-shaped border. It had to do with the lighthouse that was built belonging to Finland, but then Sweden was like, hey, it's too close to our side of the island. So they drew a border that was like this to give each side equal shares of the land. See this archipelago cluster of islands right here? Yeah, it belongs to Finland, even though most of the people here speak Swedish. Åland is Finland's strange little administrative anomaly. Long story short, it used to belong to Sweden, but then the Russians took over it in addition to Finland. Then after the Russian Revolution, Finland became free, and then the UN decided Åland should belong to Finland with autonomy. But then the Soviets started attacking again, and then Finland was like, nope, and then fought back relentlessly, defending themselves and Åland, and Sweden just kind of sat there and didn't really do much for Åland as they decided to stay neutral. Finland defending Åland was kind of like the turning point. Now it's kind of like, Åland, come back to me! Look, Sweden, we had some great times, but you kind of really didn't do much for me when things got crazy. I mean, Finland defended me, okay? And he treats me well, okay? His tax incentives are great. It's time to move on. It's not me. It's you. Åland! Also, Finland kind of threatened that if Åland was ceded back to Sweden, they would demand the Tornio Valley. Now, before the whole Soviet thing, Finland operated the regions of Karelia, Sala, Kuusamo, Petsamo, and some extra islands in the Gulf. After the wars with the Soviets, these regions were all ceded back to Russia, effectively cutting off their access to the Arctic Ocean. Very quickly, some notable sites and landmarks would have to be the old castles like Savonlinna, Hämeenlinna.
I know they're probably gonna. I don't know why I'm asking this now. I was trying to wonder, is there any tensions between like Finland and Russia? You know, I was kind of curious there. They might tell me later on, I guess in friend zone and stuff like that, but I wanted to say it while it came to my mind.
Very quickly, some notable sites and landmarks would have to be the old castles like Savonlinna, Hämeenlinna, Olavinlinna, and the most renowned Suomenlinna. You can probably guess what Linna means by now. Rovaniemi is otherwise known as the home of Santa Claus, where you can go reindeer sledding. Inari and Ivalo is where you can get a real Sami traditional cultural experience. Of course, Helsinki is the epicenter of Finnish architecture and culture, with landmarks such as the Tempeli Aukia Church excavated into a rock, Mannerheim Street, the busiest road with all the shops and austere post-Soviet influenced blocky colonnaded buildings, or the iconic Helsinki Cathedral. Now those are all great, but Finland isn't really much of a tight metropolitan type of country. They love their space and have quite a bunch of it. Let's see what lies outside these cities, shall we?
Do it. No.
This is how fast YouTube is with Brave. Notice how there's no pre-roll ads? And here's how you can...
I'm just skipping. Didn't notice a thing.
Now, if you want me to make this simple, some would argue that Finland is the best winter wonderland in the world. I mean, Canada's cool, but they have too many bears, and Iceland is too explodey, and Russia is too... cold.
Come on now, I'm Canadian. See, he's biased. I'm going to be biased now. I'm sorry. I'm biased. Poor bears are cool.
Canada's cool, but they have too many bears, and Iceland is too explodey, and Russia is too... cold. Seriously, though, the land is generally flat, except in the north by the border with Norway, in which the highest mountain can be found, Mount Halti, although the peak is in Norway. However, in 2017, Norway plans to give Finland the peak for their 100th anniversary of independence from the Soviets. Finland is just wonderfully crisp and refreshing, usually ranking in the top 3 countries in the world with the cleanest air quality. This is partially because Finland is almost 80% covered in forest, one of the highest concentrations per square kilometer in the world, only behind countries like Gabon and Suriname. This makes Finland the largest producer of wood in the EU and one of the top in the world. Not only that, but Finland has about 188,000 lakes, most heavily concentrated in lakeland, and in addition to lakes, about 10% of the country...
Back up for a second. That looks cool, man. You guys, I bet you guys have like a lot of cottages. Like, that'd be so cool, man. To have your own little island. Or is it maybe it's just like, like a national park where maybe you're not allowed to like build a cottage out there? But that'd be cool, man. Like just driving boats around and your neighbors and I don't know, having a school up on a different island. I don't know. Anyways.
8,000 lakes, most heavily concentrated in lakeland, and in addition to lakes, about 10% of the country is comprised of all water bodies like rivers, ponds, and streams. When mixed with the land, this makes about 1/3 of the country home to swamps and bogs, making it the highest wetland proportion country in Europe and disputably the world. Maybe, but our floods are crazier. Fittingly, the name for swamp in Finnish is suo, and the word for Finland is suomi. I mean, technically, they also have like 9 other words for swamp, like rame, neva, leto, luhta, laiteko, apa, paisa, Janka, and Korpi. And they love these swamps. One Finnish pastime is jumping in the mud, sometimes naked, and either playing soccer or wrestling. The landscape of Finland is shaped that way because imagine what happens when you crush something under a heavy glacier for a really long time, and then after the glacier melts, you're left with pockety erosion and mineral residue all over. Not only that, but Finland is experiencing a post-glacial rebound in which the land is steadily rising along the coast of the Gulf of Bothnia. Every year, Finland gains about 7 square kilometers and is technically rising out of the sea. The longest river is the Kemijoki that passes through Lapland and reaches the Gulf of Bothnia. And the largest lake, as well as the 4th largest in Europe, Lake Saima, is located in the southeast. Because Finland is so far north, they are known for being the land of the midnight sun, as during summer you can literally see the sun for 24 hours a day in the northern parts by the Arctic Circle. And of course in the winter times there's hardly any sunlight at all, but if you're lucky you can witness an aurora borealis, especially in the northern parts. Oh, and by the way, the national animals are the whooper swan and the brown bear. Finnish agriculture is of course very standard for northern European countries, lots of rye wheat, turnips, potatoes, and of course fishing is huge out here. However, due to the abundance of lakes and rivers, Finns prefer their own domestic freshwater fish like perch, zander, and miuku as opposed to the sea fish. Speaking of which, coming to Finland, chances are you will eventually try reindeer meat in some shape or form, whether in stew or grilled. In Lapland, you might even find bear on the menu. You can try mami, a pudding made of rye, and of course, every Finn will make every visitor try the strong, salty salmiakki. They love salmiakki so much.
Mommy, that sounds familiar. I think someone in the comments made a comment. Yes, said that yes, Finland's next, and said like Maui and something. I think that was if I remember correctly. Dang it makes me want to get my phone and search that comment now. Let me see here.
Time to build ice hotels, and there's like this cool waterfall in the Paratisi Kuru area in the Uru Kekkonen National Park. Okay, let's talk about Finnish people.
Alright, cool. No.
I come from a planet called Earth, a time
Okay, guys,
centuries from now,
seconds.
and I've come here to warn you.
And bam.
Okay, if you go to Finland, you will most likely experience a rather intense yet intriguing social construct. First of all, the country has about 5.5 million people and is the most sparsely populated country in the EU. The country is about 90% ethnically Finnish, about 6% are Swedish, and the rest is made up of everything else under the sun like Russians, Estonians, Asians, and Africans. They use the euro as currency, they use the type CEF outlets, and they drive on the right side of the road. Of course, the Finnish people speak the Finnish language, which is arguably one of the hardest languages on earth to learn. Conjugation is a mess, nouns and adjectives have, which is arguably one of the hardest languages on earth.
What is this? Like, I don't understand the whole like animal with grammar. I don't know. It's got to be a joke that's over my head. I'm sorry. I'm Gary. Interesting.
To learn. Conjugation is a mess. Nouns and adjectives have inflectionary forms, whatever that means. Nonetheless, Finland has one of the best schooling systems in the world. In Finland, school hours are shorter, less homework is given, and there are virtually no mandated standardized tests apart from the exam you take in your final senior year of high school. Also, if you get your PhD, you have the option to get a sword and a top hat along with your diploma. This is also why Finland is one of the most English-friendly countries in Europe. Children are taught around ages 9 to 11, and most people of the younger generation can at least hold an impressively fluid conversation. Finland is actually a conscription country in which all men ages 18 and up are required to serve either in the military or civilian services anywhere from 165 days to a year, depending on the type of service applied for.
That's not bad.
Islands are exempt from the military conscription, but are required to serve in some kind of institution like the Coast Guard or civil services. Finnish culture is actually pretty funny. The stereotype is that Finns are incredibly quiet and don't talk that much in most public transactions. Just mind your business and no small talk. The cartoon Finnish Nightmares illustrates this concept pretty well. Check it out. Which is funny because Finland is huge on the boisterous, loud, and flashy heavy metal culture, having the highest concentration of heavy metal bands out of any other country in the world with nearly 650 per 1 million residents. Finns also invented the wife carrying competition in which a man must carry.
So you guys like no one to talk to you. Be quiet. It's like you like your space. But then, or is that like kind of like during the day thing? At nighttime, you're like heavy metal, so you gotta get it all, let it all out that you've held it in during the day. I don't know. That's interesting.
50 per 1 million residents. Finns also invented the wife carrying competition, in which a man must carry either his wife or girlfriend or any girl that agrees to get tossed around in an obstacle course, and the winner gets the women's weight in beer. It's very strategic because if you want to win, you might want to carry a lighter wife, but if you want more beer, you better do your squats, bro. Now, if you must know one thing about Finnish culture, you have to know about sauna. The Finns invented the sauna. Most homes, hotels, and apartments have a sauna built into them. They actually had a sauna competition at one point, but then a Russian guy died and they had to kind of cancel it. Overall, though, Finns are kind of brought up in a mindset known as sisu. It's kind of hard to explain the exact definition of it, but it kind of means something like guts or determination and never giving up, which really helped them along the fight with the Soviets. Sisu is to Finland what Jantaloen is to Denmark. There are so many other things I wish we could talk about, but we're running out of time. But we do have time for friend time! Historically, Finland was kind of always a little lonely. I mean, few, if any, trading routes ever went through this area. Even the Mongols were like, we're good. Nah, yeah, carry on. Nonetheless, over time, Finland did develop relations, and to this day is one of the most diplomatically outreached countries in the world. I mean, the Finnish passport is the #1 ranked and most sought after, as it has the highest number of visa-free countries applied to it. First of all, Finland generally gets along with other Nordic countries. However, they have the biggest frenemy relationship with Sweden. They'll trade and share a beer or two, but when hockey season comes, the bloodbath begins. When it comes to Russia, Finland kind of has to.
I know the hockey thing, know it well. Woo! I gotta love my hockey-friendly countries, you know. And, it's always fun to face you guys in the championships and the Olympics and stuff. Yeah. But you gotta love a good rivalry, even if it's not hockey or anything else. It's it's kind of cool to have a rivalry with somebody else. You know, it just makes things more fun and interesting.
But when hockey season comes, the bloodbath begins. When it comes to Russia, Finland kind of has to be their friend because Russia has the longest border with them and business is important. Nonetheless, Russia is kind of seen as like the next door neighbor that you once got into an argument with, but then you kind of fixed things up, but then you kind of really didn't get over it, and then you have to see them every other day in the morning as you go to work. Germans are always welcome in Finland, and Hungarians are like the long-lost distant cousins that they just discovered and are trying to build a relationship with. Their best friends, though, might be Estonia and Norway. Everybody loves Norway. It's like the Cameroon of Europe. Norway has never had any controversy with Finland, and with the recent mountain gift proposal, relations are only strengthened. Estonia is like the nagging little sister that tries to imitate her bigger brother. I mean, they both even have the same national anthems, but in the end, they are family, and Finland always loves her. In conclusion, Finland really is a winter wonderland with quiet people that transform into metal monsters after a pint of long drink, topping their days off, baking themselves in human ovens for fun. And with that, we finish the Finnish episode. You waited for that for over 10 minutes. Stay tuned. The country that must not be named is coming up next.
In a relentless world.
All right, so I'm gonna pause it there because it's over. Okay, there's Macedon. Okay, that means I go back in video. Okay, Lisa, that makes it good. I'll remember it. Okay, well there we have it. Finland. You guys are awesome. It's pretty apparent. Got some cool lakes. You got your hockey. You got the carrying your wives for beer. That's pretty awesome. And just seemed like it all around. Like I like I said, I'd love to visit there. And I'm sorry I don't speak Finnish, but let's see. Apparently you guys speak some pretty decent English. So props to you guys. And yeah, it seems like everyone likes you guys. And like the question I asked about Russia, basically just asked it right there, answered it right there. So that's cool. And yeah, don't know what else to say really. Like I kind of said it all throughout the video. But thank you guys for watching. That was definitely very interesting. I'd love to go to Europe and kind of just do a big tour throughout the summer and just visit all these countries, especially Finland. And so yeah, thank you guys for watching once again. Please hit that like and subscribe, guys, if you haven't yet. I'd appreciate it, and I'll definitely catch you guys in future videos. Hope you guys can continue the train of every country. I knew you guys were coming up, and I knew you guys were friends with Estonia because I just recently did that video. You guys have to go there to get alcohol because it's cheaper, right? Did I remember something correctly? Just I forget everything. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe, and I'll definitely catch you guys in future videos. Woo!